Suppose you've got a very simple int main function. We know that the first two lines are setting up the stack frame for int main. MOV 0x0, that is setting up int a equals 0, int b equals 1. And then we get to the interesting line of code. The line of code that I've always found confusing, that I never really understood, so I decided to understand it today and go over it. XOR EAX into EAX. So this represents the return 0 line of code. Now, the first thing to note is that EAX is generally the register used inside of return. Oftentimes, you'll see this line of code happen all over the place. Now, the question is, why are we doing an XOR instead of a move? They're both the same thing, right? Moving 0 to me kind of seems more natural because obviously we're doing moves here, but why is this XOR? Turns out there's a couple of reasons for this, and that's what I want to go over today. I'm going to do a p/x of EAX. Now, if you don't know how XOR works, it's an exclusive OR. If these two values are different, the result will be 1. If the values are equal, then the result will be 0. Obviously, if you take an XOR of something with itself, the result should be 0. Let's just confirm this. I'm going to do line by line. So I'm going to do 0. So the first line is 0, 0. So that is 0. Next one is 3 and 3. That is also 0. You go 0, 0, you go 3, 3, 7, 7, so on and so forth. And so as you can see, clearly doing this operation clears out all the bits. And so let's go one line forward. We have cleared out EAX, and let's print EAX. There you go. It's been cleared out. The question is, why are we doing an XOR instead of a move? Well, it turns out that the XOR operation is fewer bytes of memory. So MOV apparently takes a couple more bytes. It's also faster because the CPU is optimized for doing this operation. We can confirm this too. We know that these instructions, right? You can see it here. This MOV is 7 bytes. This instruction is 7 bytes. We can see that because this is plus 11 from this address, and then this is plus 18 from this address. So to go from this address to this address, we have to move up 7 bytes of data, and that's how long this move instruction is. The same goes here. This same move instruction that is setting b equals 1 is also 7 bytes because to go from here to here, we have to add 7 bytes. This XOR instruction, very interestingly, is only 2 bytes. And you can see that right here because, this is plus 25 and this is plus 27. This operation is a lot fewer bytes, and so that's why they use this operation instead of doing a move L 0x0 into EAX. Turns out it's a very common operation. We could test this out too. I can uncomment this and I could do exit, make once more, and then I could do LLDB, run. And so now we're in the same main function. Again, these are the two setting A and B, and then we're going to do the call queue here. So if I keep pressing SI, it's going to go into the call queue. And interestingly enough, you're going to see that same EAX operation here. You see that right here. XOR EAX EAX, because again, we are trying to return 0. And again, EAX has some random junk, and we're clearing it out here. And if I go to the next line and then I do print EAX, it's been cleared out. Once again, this XOR operation is only 2 bytes. Unlike the other move operations, which we can see right here, are 7 bytes here and 7 bytes here. In summary, XOR or EAX is commonly used to set up return 0. XOR, of course, clears it out, so it's setting the return value to 0. The reason we use XOR and not something like MOV is because it's faster. It's fewer bytes and it's optimized. I've talked about all different types of code. I've talked about address spaces. I've talked about RBP. I've talked about relative addressing. I've RIP, which is the instruction pointer. I've talked about RIP relative addressing. I've talked about RBP and RSP, the stack frame. I've talked about popping stuff from the stack frame. And the one thing that I didn't talk about was this instruction right here. And I don't know, I might have OCD or something like that because it was bothering me. So I decided to make this video. This is kind of like one of those final deep dives into assembly. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. And if you're interested in more C++ deep dives, do subscribe because I try to post every single week. I think that's all I've got for today. So thanks for watching. Check out one of these videos that YouTube thinks you might enjoy watching.